We're live. There it is. I'm going to retweet this and tag. And that's it. And we're here. Hey, what's up? Good evening. You're listening to another episode of Taking the Over with Billy Gunn. I'm your host, Gunn, on this, the official sports wagering podcast of the Boot Crew Media Podcast Network, joined as always, or actually as most of the time, by my lovely and talented co-host, the T man among boys. The T stands for data, people. He's a data guy. And we're being joined this evening by a very special guest. I am so excited to have joining us tonight. Gentlemen, you can find him on social media at Taking the Points. The one and only JJ Gruden. JJ has built a pretty enormous social media following as a sports wagering handicapper, specifically on TikTok. You're a big TikTok guy, right,
I'm a
JJ?
big TikTok guy. I took advantage while it was hot, right before COVID hit. That's when everyone started joining in, and luckily,
He's a big TikTok guy, and maybe T can learn something from him in that regard because he's got it down to an art. And I'm guilty. I'm like boomer adjacent, man. TikTok still makes me a little uncomfortable. I'm like grandpa trying to program the VCR over here with TikTok, but I'm so excited that you're here to join us today. We actually came across you. I came across you. You were saying very, very nice and favorable things about our beloved New Orleans Saints and how you think they're a very strong option this season with some futures bets. So what's up? Goody, welcome taking the points to taking the over. It was a mashup that was bound to happen.
That's
And
right.
now the universe is complete because you're here. What's up, brother? How are you doing? Good evening.
Dude, I'm doing well. Besides my tooth problem, man, I just chipped my tooth. But other than that, I'm doing great. Doing great. We're a day away from football. Call it what you see, but I mean it's preseason, but it's football. We're back. I think we're officially back.
We're back. We're 24 hours away. And we're going to talk about that game because I don't know about you, JJ, but it's important to me. Like preseason's preseason for us too. We gotta get used to wagering on some standard football lines.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about that game as well. T, how you doing this evening, man?
I'm good. Really excited to have JJ here. I know Gunn was asking about TikTok earlier, and he asked me, he goes, does he have a lot of followers? I was like, he has I think 59,000 or 60,000. And he goes, is that a lot for TikTok? I said, well, for context, we have 20 followers in our account. So yes, it's a lot.
Yeah. Well, I would wager that JJ's put a little more effort into our TikTok into
I
his
had to give a
TikTok than
little
we have in ours.
tease. It was all practice,
Uh-huh.
past couple sports. Now football's starting. That's when we really crank it into gear.
Yeah,
T's
exactly.
our TikTok guy, JJ. He handles the TikTok for us.
That's not a title.
I'll give you
Yeah.
guys a little bit of tips after this. It's all about
Oh,
the
good.
hashtags, though. All about the hashtags.
Oh,
And you gotta have the music too in the background too. You gotta pick some good
yeah.
music.
Yeah, I think he put like total escape of the heart or something on the one video he posted. I
picked the
can't
most
remember.
irrelevant
We
music
need good music,
possible.
Gun.
Yeah.
We need good music, Gun. We
Oh,
gotta
I know it's important. No, I'm all about the music. I'm a huge music guy. I'm still stuck on butt rock though, so I mean my tastes are probably not going to connect with John Q. Post millennial. You know what I mean? But they were so happy to have you here.
appreciate
Like I
it.
said, you are with us in that you are pretty bullish on the Saints prospects this year. I don't want to spend too much time on it because we've talked about it for weeks and weeks on this podcast. Being a New Orleans centric wagering podcast, we find ourselves talking about Saints futures quite a bit. I'm all over Saints at over 8 wins. I'm all over Saints at over 8.5 wins. I feel very confident on some Michael Thomas receiving yardage. I think that's the other big one that we've got to play. Saints to win the division or Saints to finish top 2 is a great bet.
Mhm.
What is it that JJ initially brought you to see that the Saints might be outpacing what Vegas is thinking they're going to do this year?
I'm not gonna lie. Like when the postseason started, I wasn't really a fan of the Saints, but then they really started to grow on me. Some of the offseason moves they made, like bringing in Tyrann Mathieu and also bringing in Jarvis Landry and Chris Olave, they did some great things on defense. And just on that defensive side of the ball. I mean, you guys had 4 different quarterbacks last year. You still finished at 9-8 or whatever it was, almost made the playoffs with Trevor Siemian as your quarterback and having Taysom Hill towards the end of the year. But I mean, that's just special as it is right then and there. And then Jameis Winston was playing great football his first 5 games. I think he was one of the best quarterbacks in the league in regards to passing rating. I mean, he was 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions or whatever it was, and 14 or 1,500 yards. Not a whole lot of yards, but I mean, he was getting the job done. He was a different Jameis. And if you can get that with the mix of that defense, and now these weapons that he has with Michael Thomas returning, Alvin Kamara going to be playing a huge role, and then Chris Olave spreading the things out downfield, I think you guys are looking strong. The only question mark that I have is that left tackle spot, because I know you guys lost Armstead, and then you guys are bringing in a new rookie. That's my hesitation. That's my only question mark for the team.
Well, let's talk about the left tackle. Let's talk about the left tackle. Left tackle's been making a lot of news today. So we drafted Trevor. We had a very good – Saints fans were so happy because we had 2 first-round draft picks, and we got Olave with the first of the 2 first-round picks, and then we picked up Trevor Penning, left tackle out of some small school in the Midwest.
Northern Iowa, I believe.
Northern Iowa. And he is a monster, and he's one of these guys. Man, I got to tell you, JJ, like I've been seeing just stupid takes all over the place online, like in Saints Twitter. Everybody in Saints Twitter is freaking out because Trevor Penning has been getting in skirmishes at training camp. Trevor Penning has been getting in fights with defensive linemen that he's stuffing every single drill. He's been in 3 kind of significant training camp skirmishes, including one today that cleared the benches, and he was sent home from practice for the rest of the day, along with the player that he was engaged in. And you've got it's just funny to watch like relatively, I don't know what you'd call them, inexperienced or people that don't have as much mileage on the tires watching football as we do, when they go like, oh my God, this guy's a troublemaker. He's getting in fights at practice. That's what badass offensive linemen do. He's a rookie. He's coming in. He's beating people. He's standing them up. They're getting frustrated. They're hitting them after, and he's hitting them right back. He's finishing plays. That's what you want. In fact, all that says to me is starting left tackle.
You know, I mean, if that's how it is, I haven't really done a lot of research on this training camp, and I'm curious to see how he does in the preseason. That's where you're really going to see a lot of action from the guy too, especially in a game time situation. I know these practice reps in training camp are important, especially because I'm sure he's also going up against like Cam Jordan and some others that are really going to be helping him out in the long run. But yeah, I mean, if you stuff in these guys like you're saying, I mean, that's huge. But then you don't want to hurt your team either by getting in these fights when you're actually playing and you have a good play happen and you get a personal foul call and you bring it back 15 yards and now you just shot yourself in the foot. So he's got to get over that shit. That's first and foremost. But if you stuff him, that's good.
Part of that is, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Gun, I think a lot of that is Sean Payton not being there. He's a big stickler for discipline, doesn't put up with that crap. I don't know how Dennis Allen is handling it. You would think he would be similar, but you also have to remember with Trevor Penning, we got dogs going. People don't realize how big he is. He's 6'7", 329 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
And he squatted back at Northern Iowa. He holds the school squat record. He did something insane like 450 20 times. And at 6'7", that's a long way down and a long way up. So I mean, he's the real deal, man. I'm excited about him. We have some concerns. I think interior lineman Cesar Ruiz at right guard is a liability, but everybody's been saying nice things about him at camp, like his teammates have. But I wonder if that's like a Tua Tagovailoa thing. We're like, no, Tua's a great quarterback. We love Tua. Would you believe how well he's been throwing the ball? I hope that they're not giving that treatment to Cesar Ruiz at right guard with the kind words. Big concern is the tight end room. There's really nothing going on at the tight end room. But as you mentioned, we have Michael Thomas returning. We drafted Olave, and we also signed Jarvis Landry, who it's like this offseason, JJ was like Saints fan service. It was like fans were right. It was almost like fans were playing GM. We brought back LSU favorite Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. We brought back Jarvis Juice Landry. They drafted what we wanted. Sean Payton was not prone to drafting wide receivers in the first round. And then, like I said, getting the help at left tackle immediately was smart. I mean, so Saints fans have been in bliss. Things are looking favorable as far as the Alvin Kamara situation, where he was at risk of perhaps being suspended for some games. That's looking a lot more better. Would you believe it sounds like maybe the Las Vegas police lied?
Is
On
that
Alvin
really what it
Kamara?
is? Like, because I was curious about what happened. So, like, I was reading reports that he beat someone's ass because they took an elevator spot from his buddy, or someone wanted to hop in the elevator with him. So that was just all a lie.
What we know is that, dude, it was like 3 a.m. The Pro Bowl was in Vegas this year.
Right,
It was
right.
literally
Yeah.
the day of the Pro Bowl. In fact, the police came to the stadium and they like
Yep,
arrested him in the
right.
locker room at the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
But the police were saying that there was video of Kamara and his people getting in a skirmish with this other guy. Yeah, it's going on in an elevator, people coming in and out of elevators, or women involved, 3 a.m. drinking, whatever. But now, but it's like police, they like verbally described the video, but nobody's seen the video. And now the video's been around for a little bit longer and it's still not out. They're saying like another guy was actually the one doing all the ass beating. And that guy is actually a cornerback for the Chiefs.
No way.
Yeah. Tina, did I get all that right?
I haven't. I try not to get too into that stuff. Just kind of let whatever happens. But it sounds like you hit it on the nail on the head.
Yeah,
pretty accurately.
Yeah.
It's like pictures. I saw the pictures of the guy. He got fucked up.
The guy got fucked up. But the other thing that's really good is like he had a court appearance yesterday, but like he didn't. I mean, he was at camp. He just sent his attorney. Like his attorney and the defense attorney like showed up together, and they were both like, "Yeah, let's push this thing further down the road." They both agreed to push this thing, so it's headed towards a civil settlement. The league, who knows what they're doing with player punishment right now. But that's something we could talk about with the Deshaun Watson matter, because there was a fantastic opportunity to make some money on a glitch with Deshaun Watson these last couple of days that is the window has closed on. Mm-hmm. But everything's looking promising for the Saints. I mean, I think it's a no-brainer that they cover that win total. I think Michael Thomas is being criminally underrated. If Michael Thomas is 75% of what he was the last season that he was healthy and producing, he's going to catch over 1,200 yards, which is his futures number on DraftKings. So it does look up, and like I said, it feels good to see a guy that's a respected handicapper coming to these same conclusions outside of our bias and just with lesser data. I mean, you're catching the highlights. You're not day to day in it as a hardcore fan like we are of a specific team,
Yeah. It was funny actually when I was like watching a couple of your camp highlights though. They had Michael Thomas, like what was it? I think it's like his first day or whatever. Of course they have his highlight of him catching a slant pass though. I kind of laughed at that.
Yeah,
you guys know what I'm talking about?
You couldn't have posted anything else.
Yeah, that was the only you couldn't get a go route or anything like a warm up pass. You had to get that slant
with no defenders on the field either.
Yeah,
it was just like it was like Jameis playing catch, and
right.
Michael Thomas is back.
Yeah. It was a good pass though. It was a good pass.
I mean, look, you talked about Jameis. We love Jameis, dude. I think I was messaging you the other day on Twitter. I was saying, look, Jameis, 27 years old. The guy was super goofy when he was young. Would you believe a millionaire? If you'd have given me $30 million when I was 22 years old, I'd have been yelling, grab him by the pussy too. You know what I mean? I'd have been doing it all. I'd have been assaulting Uber drivers in the Taco Bell drive-through. Like, I mean, what you gonna do? The guy's 27 years old now. He does everything that you want him to do. His ceiling, and that's the thing, is like I love trolling other fan bases too, or like especially in the NFC South, and you see like people in Carolina going nuts about they're so excited to have Baker Mayfield. Actually, T, you're enjoying getting a kick out of this. They appear to be gravitating towards Matt Corral. And it appears to be on the strength of Matt Corral as the first guy at practice every day, and Panthers fan loves that. But they're getting excited about somebody like a Baker Mayfield. I'm like, Baker Mayfield doesn't have, like, we've seen what peak Baker Mayfield will be. I think that the ceiling for Jameis is just outrageous. I mean, he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, and his ceiling,
That's saying a lot, though. I'm not gonna lie. I'll stop the bias right there. I don't know if he's a top 5 in the ceiling. I think he could definitely be. I think he could definitely be like a top 12, top 10. But you got some strong candidates there at 5, man. There's some strong guys there at 5. But no, but I agree. If he's just serviceable, like top 14, 15, all you gotta do is just have someone that can run that offense. And if you got that because you got the defense behind you, you got all these weapons. I just really don't think that. And then I mean you've seen it from time again, season after season. They beat Tom Brady, the Bucks. The Bucks have yet to beat him with Tom Brady on their team in the regular season. Besides the postseason, sorry about that. But
no, that's true. Regular season.
Yeah, but regular season, and then the division is very favorable for him with the Carolina Panthers, who are like on their last leg, and then Atlanta Falcons, who like I can literally only name one person on their defense. So I mean, with that being said, I think the Saints have a good shot of going like 5-1, possibly in the division, maybe a split there with Tampa. But if they do that, I like their chances to have like a double-digit win season this year.
Oh yeah, we can ladder these Saints picks up too. We can ladder Saints win total. I posted this on my Twitter the other day, but you actually you're familiar with a ladder.
Yep.
Right,
yep,
JJ?
Of course. Mm-hmm.
So you can ladder the Saints. You can start at 8.5, and of course that's like plus 105. Then you can go alternate wins 9.5. That's plus 170. Then you can go over 10.5, just plus 280. And then if you think the Saints are going to go 12-5, you can go over 11.5 and get them plus 500.
I'm surprised you didn't do a over 16.5 win total.
No, I don't even think they offered
the odds on that.
I don't think it was offered. Been loving ladders, man. I've been loving ladders lately. Oh, let me, JJ, who's your favorite gambling Twitter, like gambling social media out there in the ether gambling personality?
Oh man, that's tough, dude. That's tough.
You could say yourself if you'd like. Also,
we're
big touts on this show.
That's
how I've been running in baseball lately. I don't want to say myself right now, so I don't want to put that one on the table. I don't know. There's a lot of good guys I like to follow. It depends on if I want to be more informative and have like more of trends and actually people have done their research, or if I'm looking for just strictly content. I think. That's tough, man. That's real tough, actually, to kind of think about.
I'll give you mine while you think.
Yeah, let me hear it.
We've had him on the show. T actually turned me on to him. Dude, I'm a disciple of John Hislop.
Oh, really? Oh, he's good. Yeah, he is good.
He's so good.
What's his nickname? His nickname's Slop.
Slop
right?
Rules is his Twitter.
Yep.
But yeah, he's with Odds Checker US, and dude, his articles are very funny, very dry, like Norm Macdonald humor,
Yeah.
And literally, the guy is something like 16-3 with his last 19 baseball pitcher strikeout props.
Impressive.
Daily.
Yeah.
And he uses a formula, and it's very transparent. But he puts in the work, he puts in the time. It's clever. It's like you said. It's funny content because he is over the top about oh my God, it's a great. The best way to get ahead is to win after you lose, and losses don't count on a Saturday, and it's daylight savings time. We got an extra hour to gamble, and there's people that don't get the joke that come over and it's not okay. There's no good. I saw you the other day, JJ. You showed some restraint. There's no good sports to bet on today. You shouldn't bet today. And I'm like, you should never say that. That's the kind of thing that that Hislop would be against. But he's right. And Odds Checker, it's all very transparent over there. I think he's at plus 27% ROI on the year, and it's all verified and documented.
That's pretty impressive.
It's very impressive.
Yeah, I want to put a name out there, and I want to see if JJ knows who it is, because this is my favorite social media better personality.
Yep.
Are you familiar with Ben the Better?
Oh,
Ben the Better.
Yeah, you know Ben the Better.
I don't know who Ben the Better is.
You've never heard of Ben the Better?
I gotta look him up. Is it Ben the Better?
Ben the Better.
That's the word, yeah.
Holy shit.
Ben the Better. Hold on. I see so many guys come across my feed.
Ben the Better's pretty. Everybody in sports game, everybody knows who Ben is.
There he is. Okay, I see it now. I've never seen this guy.
The biggest mush on the planet.
Is he really? Mm-hmm. That's saying a lot, dude. I don't know if you know.
No, he's pretty. I'm not making that. Dude, it's his whole thing, and we've got a thing going with him, and he's so bad. I'll give you a 30-second synopsis. He's so bad, consistently bad, and he loses at about a consistent 65% rate.
Yeah.
People suspect that he's actually a smart. A theory is that he's actually a smart gambler, but he doesn't want all of the accolades of being a tout. So this is the way he goes about it. He has a Patreon, and if you just buy his Patreon and fade him, then it becomes big. but there's all these theories about who he really is. He like shadow listens to our show. He grabbed like some audio and video from our show and made like he edited it together with some other podcasts. Video has like 27,000 views of like people speculating on who Ben the Better is. He's come full circle now and said that like, oh no, I am that good and I have been where you're supposed to fade me, but now I'm going to make it simple. Now I'm going to pick the right games and you don't fade me, tail me. But he's sucking at it. He's been on that trip for about 2 weeks. And then he's dead to me now, by the way, because he had a big announcement. Like this Monday, he was going to have a big announcement. His big announcement is if you sign up to his Patreon, he'll teach you how to gamble.
Oh,
he's starting Cappers University. And I was like, bro, I'm done. I don't even want to engage with him anymore.
One month he actually, his numbers, he has a spreadsheet he shares. He was down
very transparent.
80 units in a month.
80 units down, making like 1 and 2 unit bets. He's not like a 10 unit bet guy. He'll get like 1-2 units and he's minus 80 units. That was like January.
That's really bad.
He's very bad.
Impressively bad.
He's impressively bad.
But what you're saying, how he keeps track of his units, the 80 units, that's like the biggest thing in this industry is being transparent. I can't tell you how many times I feel like that same person can't really grow like a following because like he makes so many different accounts of trying to get there. Like, you know, you're gonna have a losing month. You might have a losing 2 months in a row. Who knows? But you got to build that trust with your audience at the end of the day, and you got to be transparent as fuck. Because if you're not, people aren't gonna follow you. That's the big thing. I take it to the chin when I lose games, and I let people troll me, and I agree with them. I suck. So I mean, you got to be like that. So hats off to him though.
Did you? I like it. I like to. My favorite right now is his lot. Ben comes second, but actually said Ben's dead to me. T loves Ben.
I have a love-hate relationship with Ben. Yeah. I'm like my wife is like this too, where like she watches a mystery movie or a thriller. She's looking at Wikipedia before it gets there to find out what happens because she can't wait. I need to know who he is. I need to like unravel this mystery like a year ago.
JJ, we've offered him money. I've offered him money. I've offered him all kinds of shit to come on this show.
So I'm looking at him. He's like a cartoon character on his avatar. That's him, right?
Yeah. Well, the cartoon character, I think one of the reasons
the video
about coming on.
Longing.
Yeah, he's been making weird videos of him like walking to a pond by his house and shit, playing like piano music and
talking over it. Dawson's Creek intro-esque.
He's given advice. He's given like life advice too. But some of his shit doesn't check out. He's been he's been really shitty to some prominent people on gambling Twitter. He's been like really shitty to Megan making money over the last few years. He got into it with Rob Pizzola.
I know Rob, yeah.
Of Bet Stamp.
Yeah.
And he had a handicap challenge against Rob's pet tortoise last year. And he lost to the tortoise.
The tortoise, his name is Tortellini.
Tortellini, the tortoise. That's right. Tortellini, the tortoise, beat the fuck out of him. It was like Bodog had odds. You could wager on Ben or the tortoise. That's actually the first show that T and I ever did together. We handicapped.
The turtle was the favorite.
It was like minus 115, and Ben was like plus 120 at the start.
Oh my! How did the turtle make picks? Like they just like
they put like grass on bowls? 2 picks, and the turtle like crawled to one of them.
Yeah, the turtle had to go eat the cat.
Yeah.
It's the same method I employed with my cat handicaps games.
Yeah,
and he is really into hair ties. So I used to have long hair, and I'd put my hair in a hair tie, and so I had all these hair ties around. But he goes after hair ties more than like treats or catnip or anything. So I'd have like home team, away team, and a hair tie on each equidistant away from him, similar to the tortoise method. I mean, I learned that from the Tortellini versus Ben competition. My cat, by the way, JJ, 56% last season against the spread.
That's a pro handicapper right there. That is a
pro. Fucking pro.
That's a pro.
You'll see him up here on the screen sometimes. He's
I saw him.
He's got a Pavlovian reaction when he sees me sitting here. He thinks it's handicapping time. He knows the podcast lights are on. He's ready to handicap some fucking games. That cat's ready for the NFL, dude. Are you ready for the NFL? Let's talk about the Hall of Fame game.
I like it.
Tomorrow.
Okay, let's do it.
Kyle Slaughter.
That's our guy.
Kyle Slaughter of the New Orleans Breakers of the USFL.
Number 1 pick in the USFL too.
Number 1 pick in the USFL. Oh shit. All right. We're going to play the game, T. We're going to play the game real quick. with JJ. JJ, we call this the USFL game. There is no tweeting. There is no Googling. There is no searing. I want you to name all 8 teams that participated in the USFL season last season. Go.
I can do that. Breakers, Bandits, Philadelphia. No, there was a brigade. That was a New Jersey brigade. Houston Gamblers. Philadelphia. Was it the Stars? Would you guys give me that one? Or if it's not the Stars,
Either the name or the mascot works.
Stars. Okay, the Stars. Shoot, who else? There's 3 more. So the New Orleans Breakers. Did I say the Breakers already?
Mm-hmm.
I did say the Breakers. Shoot, hold on. Let me think of more. There's a Michigan team. Michigan. Man, damn it.
Sick.
Jeff Fisher.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah, you got it. You got Michigan. What next?
I could just say the state.
We'll give you names because they all play the same place.
What's the Michigan? What's the Michigan one? What was the Michigan?
Michigan's Michigan. They're Michigan Panthers.
Michigan Panthers. Damn it. Let me see here. The Birmingham Brigade. I think I said them already. Birmingham, Philadelphia, New Jersey, Houston, Tampa, New Orleans. I said 7, right? That's 7.
Yeah, you're missing.
There's one more, and they were the worst team in the league.
Mm-hmm. And I think they're from not far from you.
It's not DC. No, there's no DC team. Was there a DC team? No.
No. Well, maybe I don't know where you live too.
I'm in Virginia.
Geography.
Well, no, then I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Well, they're on the East Coast too, but all the teams are on the East Coast. So.
Yeah. Just ruin it for me. Who is it?
It's Tampa Bay.
No, I said Tampa Bay.
The last one is the Pittsburgh Maulers.
Yeah, that was it. They were so
trash.
bad. They were so bad. Oh,
dude, don't worry. You did better than anybody.
Yeah, we had people getting like first letters. That was it.
Yeah, we've had really good football people on this show. That it's just to point out something about the USFL. So anyway, Kyle Slaughter of the Jacksonville Jaguars, formerly of the New Orleans Breakers, is going to be taking the Jacksonville Jaguars into Tom Benson Stadium. He's going back to Tom Benson Stadium, which hosted the USFL championship game. Kyle Slaughter's last game played was inside this very stadium, where Jacksonville will be taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. Currently, the spread on this game is 2.5, and that's with the Raiders being plus 2.5. And the total on this game, just since I've been tracking it pretty hardcore on Monday, is down from a total over under of 32.5. I bought it at 29.5 today.
It's at 29.5 for the game total right now.
Yep.
Wow, it was at 32.5 last time I saw.
It was at 32.5 last time I saw it too.
Dang, it dropped that low, huh?
It dropped this week. I saw it on Monday at 32.5.
Line moved too from 1.5. Jaguars being 1.5 point dogs are now 2.5 point dogs.
2.5 point dogs to the Jags. I mean, I'm gonna do a parlay, but I'm most excited about the totals bet, and I came prepared to go to war with you two gentlemen tonight, protecting the honor of taking the fucking over on this game. I don't want to hear about 7 of the last 10 Hall of Fame games have been under 30 points. I don't want to hear, dude, go eat some blue cheese. All right. This one's going over. You got Doug Peterson, new coaching staff in Jacksonville.
Yep.
You know a little something about that.
Mm-hmm.
We've yet to disclose that J.J. Gruden is, in fact, the son of
that's right,
Coach Jay Gruden,
yep,
and the nephew of Coach John Gruden,
yep,
which means your uncle and your dad are the two most recent coaches. Like, their two most recent teams are these two teams.
Yeah.
Your
exactly.
uncle with Las Vegas and your dad with Jacksonville.
Yeah, if you put it that way, yeah, you're exactly right.
Think about that. We got the right guy. We brought you on just for that game because we know if there's anybody in the gambling sphere that knows this game, it's JJ Gruden.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't have a clue who's going to win this game, but damn it, I'm confident that they're going to cover 29.5 on the total. I'm taking the over there, slightly juiced. I think I bought it at minus 114. At 29.5.
Yeah, that's so crazy. That's that low.
That's lower than USFL totals.
It's lower than USFL. See, I've seen Kyle Slaughter work, okay? He can put 15 points up on the board. Give him 4 quarters. Give him a little urgency.
He's in the groove. He's in the groove already. He knows
that's
the
a really good
confines
point.
of Tom Benson Stadium.
He's got the most work of anyone on the field at this point.
Yeah, he's fresh. He's that UFC fighter that fought 6 weeks ago and knocked the guy out in 30 seconds. He's ready to keep going. He just stayed in camp. Just stays ready, Kyle Slaughter. Slaughter stays ready.
He's the fourth string quarterback, though, right? I mean, he's going to definitely get in. He's going to play probably the fourth quarter.
I think he's going to play the second half.
Yeah,
I think I did a little bit of background research. I think one of their guys is banged up. You're not going to see Lawrence. I think one of their other guys is banged up. I think they literally are going to have like two quarterbacks playing.
Slaughter
I think they want to see what they
kid.
have in Slaughter.
Yeah, they have Beathard, CJ Beathard, I believe, and they have Jake Luton.
Beathard's hurt as well. That's why you're going to see more Slaughter.
Yeah.
And then the Raiders don't have they have a pretty decent. All right, this is not pretty decent, but for the context of the preseason game, they have Jared Stidham and Nick Mullins as their 2 and 3.
Stidham, yeah. I mean, what are you going to see from Stidham, really? I mean,
that's not bad backups. Nick Mullins.
Stidham, though?
Nick Mullins.
Nick Mullins.
Number 3.
The thing, Nick Mullins has screwed me on when I've had the under a couple times and his over is hit because Nick Mullins just comes in and throws darts and plays like
Mickey Mantle jeans. He's got like that Babe Ruth calling. Yeah. He's like Rocky Balboa, Nick Mullins.
Yep. Babe Ruth, Nick Mullins, basically one and the same.
Rocky Balboa.
There you go.
Yeah.
We're not going to see any names, I would say, at all in this game.
No, nothing. Nothing.
Nothing.
Doesn't matter. No, we know Kyle Slaughter. We know Kyle Slaughter.
Yeah. I am going to take the Jaguars, though. I'm taking the Jaguars on the money line tomorrow just because I feel like they have a lot more young players and I feel like they are going to I don't know. I like young rookies that are more hungry than some of the vets. I just they're competing more for roster spots. I feel like more in Jacksonville than Las Vegas.
I like that. In fact, just to be contrarian, I'll go opposite you. Then I'll take the Raiders,
thanks.
and I'll give you my justification for why.
Okay, go ahead.
See, I believe, especially this first game of the preseason, especially with new coaching staff, that this first preseason game is all about the coaches. Your Mike Tomlins of the world, your Sean Paytons of the world, they didn't give a shit about winning preseason games. Jeff Fisher doesn't give a fuck about winning a preseason game. But when you've got Josh McDaniel coming back for redemption in Vegas as the head coach, when you've got, I do think he's a better coach than Doug freaking Peterson. Doug Peterson, bless his heart, he's from Louisiana guy. He was coaching. He was like a damn Disney movie. He was coaching high school football, and 4 years later, he's a fucking NFL head coach in the Super Bowl. I mean, I think both coaches are going to come out jazzed up. That's why I think that crazy 29.5 is going to fall. But, I mean, I like this line a lot better when it was 1.5, minus 1.5 on Vegas, but now it being minus 2.5. I mean, I'll be contrarian in that I do think the Raiders are going to win the game. But it ain't fucking knows. T, what you got? You got some data up there for us?
Not really. What data am I going to pull for this other than past trends? I made 2 picks in this game purely based off line movement. So I just did the Raiders -2 before it went to 2.5 because I saw it go up. And I took the under before it went down. So it was that 32.5. I got it just from the pure fact that the last 10 Hall of Fame games have been sub 35 points for the most part, besides 1 or 2. Last year was 16-3. I think the Cowboys played. How can you confidently go into this game and think they're going to score points after 2 weeks of practice or a week and a half?
Kyle Slaughter.
Okay.
Stays ready.
Okay.
Do they have anybody else from the USFL coming in and playing? That's actually kind of
one other guy got signed. The receiver that won the MVP of the league got signed by somebody.
Oh yeah, the dude from Maryland, or the guy. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. He played at Maryland.
Camp body
Turpin.
Yeah, I mean, are we really going to base this off USFL players?
Yeah.
I'm basing it off of which coach in his second tenure as a head coach, which redemption story of a head coach in his second opportunity is going to be more hungry at the Hall of Fame game. That's what I'm basing it on.
You're going purely off of one of my big no-nos, which is storyline betting.
That's all I do is storyline betting.
I know, I don't like doing that. So it's why we're such a perfect married couple, right?
JJ, what's your method? I mean, you're obviously, what's your best sports and what's your method? And do you have a method? And if you don't, if you're like me and you're more of I trust my eyes, right? It's the 2 sports I'm good at are UFC and NFL. And half the time I don't even take UFC seriously, but NFL I give a shit about, and if I lose, my feelings really get hurt.
I actually kind of play a little bit into a storyline effect though, not so much, but definitely I do have that aspect, especially when not really NFL, but NBA especially. I feel like the NBA is freaking rigged to a T. But the NFL, I mean, you could tell some of these teams like later in the season, like for an example, I believe it was the Rams and Cardinals last season. The Cardinals got the first one off the Rams early, and towards the end of the year, or was it the 49ers? I think the Rams beat the 49ers pretty good early. Yeah, the Rams beat the 49ers pretty good early. And then they came back on Thursday Night Football where they played the Rams again. And the 49ers were basically fighting for a playoff spot. The Rams were all the way ahead. I knew the 49ers were going to get in. I just feel like looking at the NFC, I felt like they're going to get in. They had to win that game against the 49ers. They had to, or the Rams. They had to start somewhere, and that's where they start. If they lost that one, they're pretty much out. In those kind of situations, when I'm looking at like teams trying to make it in towards the end of the year, that's where I kind of play the storybook effect more so than, than not. And then that 49er team ended up winning by like 30 points or whatever it was that game. They killed the Rams.
Oh, dude, those NFC West games, those games terrify me.
Oh, they
Like,
do.
I usually don't fuck with them. I usually
All
stay
division
away.
games do.
Well,
Yeah.
especially those are wacky. You know what I mean? It feels like an NFC West games for me. It's like, I'm usually okay. The noon game has happened, or the Saints are playing in prime time on some, either that night or Monday night or a Thursday night. But like, let's say the Saints have already played at noon, and I've already got my early slate of gambling out of the way. It almost feels like after you've like, I sell ED. I run an ED clinic in my free time, so I'm prone to talk about ejaculation and shit like that.
Okay.
Feels like you've just like had, like you feel like, I've ejaculated. But now I'm watching this crazy NFC West shit going on, and oh my God, what this week? Kyler Murray stormed back to win 30-10. Like I can't do it, but like because I feel like I've just gotten the poison out like in the early games. I feel like I'm seeing it with a much clearer head. You know what I mean? Like if you're about to make a bad decision involving a woman or something, you got to like, you get the poison out, and then you go like, and you're like, oh my God, what the fuck was I thinking?
That's usually when I wake up the next morning after the bar. But then I get
like
out
that.
there.
Yeah.
But you already committed it. You already went in.
No. You get the poison out, you start thinking clear. And that's what it feels like when the Saints play early, all the early bets hit, and you're going to watch either an AFC West or an NFC West, or maybe both at the same. Ever watch two games at the same time? Like you go watch that, and you've already had this gambling orgasm in the early set.
Yeah.
But you're like, I think I can see shit clearer. And what I see is like those West Coast games terrify me often.
Mm-hmm. And it just goes downhill from there too on a betting slate, though. I mean, because you got only like 3 or 4 games in the 4 o'clock game. Then you're trying to make your money back if you really take a hit in 4 o'clock, and then you're trying to win it all back, and then you get hit at the 8 o'clock game. You gotta be careful.
Yeah, that's why I have like 12 prop bets going on Sunday Night Football, just praying that something.
Yeah,
that's when you get into slippery slopes.
Please God, let me go 7-6.
Yeah.
I hear that Monday. I hear that Sunday Night Football theme, and like usually my gambling serotonin's like fucking just done. I'm like, oh, it's been a good day. Unless I'm behind. I'm like, all right, it's our last chance.
Last chance.
Let's take some hasty and ill-advised action here.
First touchdown score. I gotta win it all back.
That's usually when my first touchdown scorer bet of the weekend is played.
Yards, so that'll be fine.
You know what? You just put something. You just verbalized something that I'd always realized but never known. I think I only bet first touchdown scorer bets in Sunday Night Football.
That and Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Thursday. Yeah, third little Thursday. Yeah.
Never do
Not
it
even
at
Monday.
1 o'clock. I mean, why would you do it at the 1? You got so much things going on at once.
Yeah.
Like, there's no point in doing that. You got the 1, and then you can follow up with some bunch of other things. But yeah, the primetime games are where you usually put the first down scores.
I didn't mean to make it weird by getting so sexual with it earlier. Like I said, it's all I do all day.
Was it weird that I kind of liked it a little bit?
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, just like there's nothing strange about talking about rock hard dicks with old dudes all day long.
No.
Captain of industry over here, I am. That being said, I saw where you were talking about taking every single under in a preseason game. You ran a poll on Twitter, and it seemed like the vote, which I voted no, for the record, because
you have the over the first one.
Yeah, it's a religion to me, dude. I'm serious about the over. I know it's not even advantageous most of the time. I understand I'm betting with the herd, but fuck, overs are so much more fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be a boring game for me tomorrow. I'm not really looking forward to it, but I know it's not going to be a ton of excitement.
That total is going to make it interesting, though, isn't it?
Well, there's
Yeah.
nothing else to bet. They don't have any props or anything. Did you Kyle Slaughter over 150 yards passing?
Oh, there's no problem. No, dude,
Yeah.
you got to go old school. You got to go old school. This is like pre-app based betting. This is like parlay cards down at the fucking dive bar. We're betting totals and spreads on Thursday. This one, you're not going to have Kyle Slaughter over under 1.5 touchdown.
The worst
0.5
part about the
touchdown.
preseason, Matt, you had a 29.5 though, right? It was
Yeah, I
29
got it. I mean, I found it there. It's come to there.
The worst part for me is, oh no, it could happen to you. No, could it? No, okay, it probably wouldn't. But like the worst part about preseason over unders is like at the end of the game where it's like, the over under is like 36 or like 35 and a half. And it's like 21 or no, it's like 14. I don't know, but at the end of the game, if it's tied up, if they can go ahead and kick an extra point to tie it up, they're not going to do that. They're going to go for 2. You don't know how many times I've been screwed by them going for 2 in the last play of the game and taking it in at overtime because they do it every time.
Oh,
That could happen, but 29.5, I don't see it really happening too much.
I don't know. Maybe they want to see what they got in their kicker. Can he make this high pressure extra point?
No, not going to happen because then they go in overtime. You got risk injury. I don't think that'll happen.
Do they have overtime in preseason?
I don't know if because I know they used to. I think they took it away. I'm not sure if they took it away because of that and they just ended as a tie. I got to look in that rule again. I know they had it like 2 years ago.
Yeah, overtime seems really ridiculous for preseason.
Yeah,
There's no tell. Look, the NFL gets wonky with its rules. One thing I see that you definitely do a lot of, JJ, is you kind of you comment and share thoughts on some of the big stories, big sports issues of the day, some of the big talking points that people talk about. The latest thing that's happened on this Deshaun Watson point, I referenced it much earlier, is that when this independent arbitrator, the retired judge, did the investigation and took all the time to come up with a 6-game suspension, the Players Association and Deshaun Watson have indicated even before it was issued that they had no intention to appeal the decision. The NFL did not make that same commitment, and now I think they're on day 3 since their decision's been released, their 3rd day, the end of the window to appeal the decision, and they're appealing the decision. The NFL has decided to appeal the 6-game decision because they want more. And this is the kind of thing that's just a head scratcher to me now out of this entire story is like, how bad is the Players Association at how they do they read this shit before they sign it? Because this appeal that the NFL has initiated, Goodell gets to decide it himself. He gets to issue the sentence, and he is the final word, and he decided to appeal it.
Why are you worried? He's never done anything crazy before.
Oh my God! Well, he's just the shield, like that. He's just the meat shield that the owners hold up. Pay him handsomely for it. He's good. He's a good heel. He's a good quality heel. You got to give it to him, right? I certainly hate that motherfucker.
I hate him with a freaking passion.
He's a good heel.
Oh, I hate that guy.
But he's pulling weird heel moves. And he's about so now, because I've been fascinated with Deshaun Watson totals and Cleveland win totals all off season because they haven't been posted. And so when the news first came out on Monday about Deshaun getting 6 games from Judge Robinson, they published the lines.
Well, if it goes, I'm sure if he gets suspended for the whole year, which I'm sure
that's suspended for the whole year, it's going to be a moot point because then he won't take a snap. But if they come back with this compromise, because now the other head scratcher is they're talking about compromise. Why would the NFL compromise? They have nothing to they get to decide.
Right.
But they're saying maybe it's going to be 10 games, 10 games. Yeah, if you've taken an under on Deshaun Watson, I think he was it came out to be, I did the math, it's 260 yards per game is what it would have required of him an average of.
I'm not, but by no means am I sympathizing with Goodell or the NFL, but he is in a tough spot now where he has to decide, do you want good press and good PR and look like the good guy who suspends the guy who did all these things or hypothetically did all these things? Or do you want one of the best quarterbacks in the league playing 16 games, 10 games, whatever it is for entertainment purposes, ticket sales, and TV ratings? So you kind of have to decide where does anywhere in between, you're going to piss people off either way. So what do you do in his shoes?
I think the judge needs to rethink everything that she was doing during that ruling, because I don't know if you guys saw like the synopsis. She's like, this is like the most heinous thing I
She
think I've ever
compared it to
seen.
other shit. Like she actually used the Jameis Winston case as a rep. She tried to approach it like it's a damn Supreme Court law, like constitutional law case. And she's like, the precedent was in 2000 whatever, Jameis Winston with the Uber driver,
Yeah.
and they gave him 3 games. It was something like that's what I saw. Like she, like, because formal judges like to refer to case law and precedent. She was looking at precedents, and the precedents are, goodness gracious, I would never want to look at any kind of NFL decision. The NFL's precedent is their video.
Yeah.
Oh, if the public sees the video, well, then then you're done.
Jameis would have to get in 30 different Uber cars in order to be comparable. Like that's such a stretch of a.
For some reason, the NFL only looked at 4 of the cases. I don't know what that's all about. They literally looked at 4 of the cases.
I think the 4 was because those are the last 4. Because there was 4 that didn't settle, right? The 3,
right.
I think,
and then 3 of those 4 did. So
yeah, that they just did. Yeah, the 3, and there's still one more. I bet those 3 got paid a lot more. I feel like those were like the actual licensed massage, because I feel like,
I think the one that held that's still holding out, I think she wins, because she should be able to like get the book and the mini series and the Oprah interviews, and like she should take it all the way. If she, like, in theory, all of them should have taken it all the way.
yeah,
Don't like, I believe it'd be awesome if she holds out and like we see, because I think he just has at a minimum he has some kind of problem, and
for
he's
sure.
very abnormal with it, and it's a not good character trait.
It gives me heebie-jeebies how he's carrying on so normally. I mean, I don't know what I expect him to do, but it's so surreal to see him like signing autographs at training camp and acting like there's nothing wrong.
Yeah,
but it's just I can't put myself in that situation, so I don't know what it's like.
I did see him a couple times too, like give his cleats away to kids and sign them off and stuff. Maybe he's trying to do something for the image a little bit.
I
too.
did this breakdown the other day, JJ. I think I did it on the pod a few episodes back. You know what I'm concerned about? Like, that dude's gonna be broke. Like, he's broke right now. I know it sounds crazy for a guy that just got, like, the way I know exactly how his contract is structured, and he got like a $43 million check.
Yeah.
But then after taxes and agent fees and shit like that, he's only going to see like 26 million of that. And if he has just settled 23 civil cases, and he probably, out of a pool of maybe $26 million on hand to his name, because he's been paying legal fees this whole time. He did make 10 million last year. I think you're going to see, and I've said, I guess it still remains in the air because he could still be suspended for a year depending on what Goodell decides to do. I think if this dude misses this year, I think he's going to go down in a ball of flames, because I think he's obviously acted like a maniac, a weird person, a bad person when he's had $30 million to his name. How's he going to behave when he's fucking broke?
Yeah.
Broke. In debt up to his eyeballs, and the whole world, you can't play football.
Or he just plays out his contract after 1 year and still makes $179 million. But still, I think that's a lot.
But he won't get that. Like, he's got to make it to the next league year day. I don't think that happens. Like, I think he's
going to get in trouble again.
Yeah, because he's gonna be fucking broke.
Shit, man, I'd be hiring people to make sure I'm not. I'll be deleting all my social media. I would have a social media team after that. You'd have to figure out something. Like, I mean, God, what an idiot. But
yeah.
No, I mean, the thing that's crazy, because the 20 cases they were solved pretty quickly. Like, I know those girls weren't lost. I feel bad for them in a way, kind of, but like for the licensed massage therapists, actually, like people that actually do that for a living. And the girl even said, like, I'm not going to do this. Like, she knew what the guy was doing. And I guarantee that's the person. There's one person specifically who was not for that at all. But the 20 that aren't licensed therapists, and they're getting hit up by an NFL quarterback on Instagram, and he's asking you to give him a massage, and the Houston Texans are requiring you to sign an NDA when you go to the hotel room. You got to think that something's fucking up. Like, you're not going there to give a freaking back rub. That's not what's going on. Like, I mean, come on, let's be real here. That's why I think those were so quick to solve. But then these other 4, Those are the big ones that I think cost him a lot of money.
Yeah, it's like he was casting. He was like going, I'm going to communicate and interact and engage with such a significant number of Instagram massage therapist
Yeah.
ladies, and he's going to get ones that were like as legitimate as can be and ones that weren't, and he treated them all the same, which is not, that's not very smart.
I mean, how many girls do you think are in like? I mean,
Well, that's
what
the
is
other thing too, and it's not about we've beat this horse. I'm sure this horse has been beat to death everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a guy that can't get laid.
Right. Yeah.
Like he's a millionaire quarterback in like the third largest market in the United
Why would
States.
you do that? Yeah.
Well, I mean, like it's not about being able to get laid. There's something wrong with him, and that's like I said, whether he's guilty or innocent or whatever. I mean, and it's a crazy hill to die on either way. There's something obviously very, very wrong with the dude.
Mm-hmm.
Did they have that included in his punishment too? Like,
yes,
I think
it's his punishment. Yes,
like he can only
he's
get
not
male
allowed to. He only can use like team. He's gonna be getting a lot of massages from men from here on out. I wonder if he's gonna try and have sex with any of the men. I think he is. I think he's.
That's actually on DraftKings. That odds.
Is it?
No.
Oh, dude! I was literally reaching up, like I started to move my hand towards the screen. I was like, I'm going to bet that right now. I bet you he's gonna. Well, I know, like you said, T, that he can only get massages from men now that work for the team. I want to. Let's get the odds on he's still going to try and have sex with them.
I don't even.
Plus 900.
He has to go to therapy.
Plus 900.
Like, he has to go to mental counseling.
I'd say minus 900.
Yeah.
I see your plus 900. And I go minus 900. This has been fun, man.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed having you on. I woke up from my little nap 30 minutes before showtime, and I had just gotten a message from you, and you're like, I cracked a tooth.
Yeah.
And I was like, but I'm still coming on the show. And I was like, you're the greatest man that's ever lived. Like, I'm so thankful for you. I'm so thankful for your time, dude. Thank you for coming on and seeing us. Honestly, like, I didn't even know you were such a big deal before I booked you on the show. I just thought you were cool. And then I was like, oh, you're cool and you're a big deal. Well, that's great.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate it. Hopefully the Saints do well this year. I really do hope the Saints do well, because I also took Jameis to win MVP and come back.
Not a bad bet. What'd you get him at?
Plus 8,000, so 80 to 1.
Nice.
I wish I got him a little earlier, because I think it was up to like 10. I think he was like 100 to 1 at one point. But it's going down. I think at some places now it's like at 50 to 1. So, dude, all he has to do is just have like a if he had the same year he had last year, like trend the same exact kind of stats, and he finished like, what is that, in 5 when he got hurt, like 6 games. So
week 5. I think it was 5-2 as a starter, or 4.5 and 2. He got hurt.
Yeah, so I mean, let's just say like five games, but he put up 14 touchdowns in those 5 games. Times that by 3, you got what is that, like 42 touchdowns? No, right?
Yeah,
he was on pace for like a 40 touchdown, like 9 interception year or something crazy.
Yeah.
And the week he got hurt, dude, he was owning the Bucs in the first quarter.
Yeah,
he was running, he was passing. I mean, he was all those numbers he was climbing, because he had very paltry passing yardage numbers the first couple weeks of the season, but he had good, touchdown to interception numbers still.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And it will be curious to see, I guess the last thing to see, really the only uncertainties, it did feel like Coach Payton kind of held back unleashing Jameis. Definitely early in the season, and you could feel it ramping up each week. Mm-hmm. And like I said, he was on fire in the first quarter of that game against the Bucs when he got hurt in the second quarter into the season. So I'm so optimistic. I think, in order for the Saints to do what they need to do, either Jameis or Michael Thomas is going to win Comeback Player of the Year.
Yep, I agree with that. I do agree with that. Mm-hmm.
And like you said, the defense is this unsung hero in it all. And I only feel like the defense, via getting guys back from injuries and more healthy, and a couple of strategic moves salary cap wise, letting Marcus Williams go in order to bring in May was a big deal, and signing Honey Badger was a big deal. So it's only looking at defense is going to, another season to meld, and their defensive coordinator got promoted to head coach. So
Yep.
It's a good time to be a Saints fan, dude. We'd like to have you back, have you some other time later on the season. You know, like I said, I'm a huge fan. We're gonna try and engage more on TikTok. So I'm sure, you know, anything we can do to pick your brain on that. Like you said earlier, it's all about the hashtags.
Yep.
T, is there anything we didn't get to tonight that you want to make sure that we get to?
No, I am very satisfied with how the show went. I really appreciate you coming on, JJ. Good insight, entertaining as always. So love to have you back, as Gunn mentioned.
Yeah, and if I have any erectile dysfunction, I know who to go to. So
well, only if you have it really bad.
Okay.
Like, yeah, like you try the pills. If the pills don't work for you, then come see me.
Okay, got it. All right.
Yeah.
Cool deal.
And if your dick's not all the way broken, don't come see me.
Yeah.
Because if you come with like a, you know, if you still you work, if you're lying about having ED and you come see me, you're gonna have an erection for like 2 days.
You could make a TikTok video, like a Dick Doc TikTok.
Dude, when I went back to a reunion with my old fraternity brothers, this is a TikTok joke. They started calling, my nickname became Dick Doc. We're
Dick
playing
Doc.
golf. Somebody yelled out Dick Doc, and that was it. My name, you know, I've had you go 20 something years with one nickname, and then in one weekend everything can change.
Yeah.
Now I'm Dick Doc.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh God. Well, awesome. Well, I appreciate y'all having on me, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to plug? Anything we need to plug for you? Go for it.
What do you mean?
I mean,
website.
Plug myself up. Hashtags.
He's a brand. Everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Taking the points. 5 at the end of the points for Twitter, and then taking the points on TikTok. That's where I'm at. That's where you can find me. I'm on there all the time. So love it. I love all this. I love this. I mean, the only reason why I got into sports betting really was because at one point when my uncle and dad were both not coaching teams, because that's who I had to support growing up, I really had no loyal fan base to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So when I turned like 18, 19 years old, and I was like, how am I going to be a fan of anything? I started betting on NFL, and that's how I got into this shit. So here I am.
That was a question of mine, was do you have a favorite team at this point, or do you just watch it all with biased eyes?
Yeah, I'm like Rob Lowe. I have the NFL hat. I walk in there. But I do have a jersey collection. I do have like 20 jerseys, and I have different shirts too. So whoever I'm betting on that week, I'll wear that jersey to the sports bar or wherever I'm at. And
you want to be an honorary Saints fan this year? I'll let you on, dude.
I have 2 Saint jerseys actually. I have Jameis. I just got Jameis this year because I'm rooting for him. I'm pulling for that guy so hard, man. You have no idea. Just as him as a person, and then I'm pulling for. I have a Troutman. So funny story, real quick before I go. I don't want to keep you guys too long.
Troutman jersey?
I do have a Troutman
jersey. He's not a favorite of anyone around here.
Oh my goodness, he's got a real big fish as your jersey. So we'll play you a real big fish song tonight on the way out.
One of my TikToks 2 years ago was when you guys played on Christmas against the Vikings. Was it Christmas or Christmas Eve, whatever it was? I had like a teaser. I had it was like a 17-point teaser with the Vikings and the over, and everything was good. But then Troutman towards the end of the game, I mean, there was like 3 minutes left to go in the game, and Troutman hits like a 70-yard touchdown run. I think it was like a touchdown pass, and he ended up hitting the like you guys ended up winning by like 21 points. I lost my teaser. I had like a lot of money on that teaser too.
That was the Kamara 6 touchdown game, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was Kamara got 6 TDs that game.
And Troutman, I think Troutman like ran it out like a 3, and then I think Kamara punched it in for 6.
Yeah.
That was that game. I was on the losing side. So I remember going on my TikTok. I said, if this doesn't hit, I'm gonna buy a Saints jersey. And I bought Troutman just because he was the one who fucked me in that game.
I think there's probably about 4.
Yeah,
we've got more listeners. We've got more listeners than Troutman jerseys have been sold. I promise you that.
Yeah, so I'll bring my Troutman jersey on next time you guys have me.
Perfect.
Sweet, dude.
There you go.
I can't wait. Yeah, I'm excited. Thank you so much. It's been a blast. I've had a great time. We're gonna get really into it. We're gonna podcast twice a week when the season gets here. And also, I'm gonna invite you to participate. We're having a Cappers Challenge. It's real simple. You just get 5 units every Sunday.
Okay, cool.
5 units. Do whatever you want with them. You're gonna email or text it, or email or tweet it. And
it'll take all be in a spreadsheet. Probably offers every week.
Whatever you want to do with it, you got 5 units, and we're gonna reset every week. You'll get your 5 units. It's basically, it's gonna teach good gambling behaviors to the newbies. So
that's cool. That's perfect. That's awesome.
Good deal, man. Thank you so much. Tell all the beautiful people listening to have a good night.
Good night to all the beautiful people. I'll pick them up.
We'll see y'all next week. Thank you, JJ Gruden.
Yeah, man.
Cheers.
Take it. Have a good night, guys. Have a good night, fellas.